Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're ready for a massive week of footy. Heading into round 6, we're going to kick it off with our Thursday night game between the Raiders and my beautiful team, the Cowboys here. I promise there'll be no bias in these selections, but we're going to start off with the outside backs. And Scotty Drinkwater come back into the starting side at fullback last week and had an absolute belter with 61.8 to kick off his season. And he was in absolutely everything. And I think he has that opportunity to do that again. You do see him at a price of $20,330, which makes it pretty tough, to be honest. Like, it's really, really expensive. Remember, you're only playing in that one game rather than having to use the salary. More people. Less people across this game, which means he's going to command a higher salary. And with how he scored last week, he's obviously clearly the best option in the outside backs in this game. But can he do it again? That's going to be the question. They're playing down in Raiders. In Canberra, there will Canberra be able to come back and play a lot better? Usually this road trip for us, the Cowboys is pretty tough. So, will he be able to dominate like he did last week? It was obviously a higher scoring game against the Warriors. I think this will be a tougher one. And I could see the Raiders outside backs doing a little bit better than the Cowboys ones. In saying that, Val Holmes is going to be a pretty good option there at 11,460. Obviously an average of 41.1 there. He's got two amazing games, a 77 and a 62. So he's clearly going to be your boom or bust kind of player, along with Jordan Rapana. But he's 5,000 more expensive. He had a tough one last week, but I'm expecting a bounce back to that mid to high 40s and has that potential to go higher from there. So up to you guys whether you want to spend up in here and go the Drinkwater Rapana route, or you can go for the Val Holmes at 11,460, and possibly Chance I think could be a solid one there as well. At that that pretty cheap price at 10,650, had a great game last week, and he's someone that could be really busy against the Cowboys and potentially score some points as well. Just be aware that the Cowboys have been really good defensively, apart from letting in a couple of easy tries last week. The first bunch of games was like the lowest ever points scored against them in to start the season. So that's very interesting. And Semi Valame has had a pretty solid start of the season as well. His best game of the year last week. But can he do it again? That's going to be the question. You see Xavier Savage come onto the interchange, and if he happens to get a starting spot, if there's an injury or anything pre-game, then he will be an interesting one as well. But that's that with the outside backs for the first game of the week. If you move to the halves, you obviously got your top dogs here with White and Dearden. Personally, I'd probably think to go for Whiten over Dearden this week. I think he has that little bit more boom potential to get over that 60, whereas Dearden, I think you're more close to going to be getting that 45 to 50 at a max, which you've seen over the last 3 weeks especially. So both fairly consistent. I think Whiten just has a little bit more potential at only $600 more. If you wanted to go a little bit less, I think Ruben Cotter there has been awesome to start the year. 52, a 61, and a 55 the first 3 weeks. You get him for a couple of $1,000 cheaper, and I'm expecting him to be consistent and get around that 50 to 55. So if you can get that at this price point, he would be awesome for your squad. A little bit cheaper there, I think Tom Starling's going to be great at 15,190. He has the 80-minute roll now, so you can see here, limited minutes, so 55-ish, 50, 55, that first 4 weeks, and then got the big effort last week, the big tackles. He had the little mini line break with 5 tackle breaks, so he was great. And that's the kind of player he is. He runs the ball, he gets the tackle breaks, potential tries in there. So I think this week with the 80 minutes again with Xavier Savage on the interchange, Tommy Starling could do really well for your team. The only other one one or two to think about is Schneider and also Townsend. Townsend's been solid, have a few 30s in him though, so that's kind of the worry. And Schneider's been really consistent with a low of 39.9. So if you think that Raiders can come out and do pretty well, he's going to kick goals, get the odd try assist, plenty of tackles, the odd tackle break as well. So at 14,000, he could be an option for your team. So probably again selecting 2 halves and hookers, so 1 for here and 1 in the flex could be a decent idea. We move to the forwards, and fairly interesting selections here. I think Taumalolo is probably the best at that price point, 16,630. Has come off 2 really good scores, and I think he can get somewhere around the 50s again. Looking down the line, CHN, Corey Harawira, Naira at 15,000 there has a potential to be that boom or bust player. A couple of 26 or 32 and a 52 and a 61. He could do well for your side, for example, at that 15,000 mark. Jeremiah's probably a little bit more boom or bust again, but I'd probably go for Tommy Gilbert at $700 cheaper if you went for that type of player. He has a 48 and a 69 with a 40 in there and a couple of low ones. So if you need that little bit extra cash in the bank, then Tommy could be your man, or Corey Horsburgh. They're 2 options for me. Corey's been super consistent every game. If you want to just bank 40 and need that, and then want to play a little bit more boom or bust in other sections of this game, in the outside backs or the halves, then Corey could be your man, just to lock in and do a job for you. And last on the list would be Cohen Hess. Comes back this week, so he was 34.5 and 45.4 over the first 2 games, and obviously got injured in the 3rd round. So he comes back after a couple of weeks off, and how many minutes will he get this week? That's probably the only worry for him, is the minutes. But if he does, I think he's going to do well and get a nice score somewhere between that 35 and 45 at a cheap price point. So that's that, guys. That's the video for Thursday night. I hope you do really well tonight, and obviously gamble responsibly. Check out my channel for further videos if you're looking at playing the long form NRL fantasy, and I'll be popping up videos here over the next few days, heading into the Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday game. So look forward to that, and good luck this weekend, team.